Hey, good morning, friends. This is the morning report from the Working Actor NYC. We are live on YouTube and on Facebook. Looks like Instagram is just coming online right now. Let's get that up and running. All right, we are live on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram. Tribeca Festival wrapped up this weekend, and I think the biggest thing that I learned from the whole experience had nothing to do with filmmaking at all. It had to do, it's about curiosity. Good morning. This is the morning report from the Working Actor NYC. This is your spot for real life, real time stories and experiences to help you with your acting practice. Let me know where you're coming from and what it is that you're working on in your acting career today. I want to hear. Let's get into it. Let's get into a conversation. So it was a busy weekend. On Friday, Tribeca Festival was still going. So on Friday, I went to a conversation with Andre de Shields. Andre de Shields is a legendary Broadway performer. He's won a Tony and an Emmy and a Grammy. And being in conversation with Andre de Shields is like sitting at the feet of one of the great masters of our time. This man is such a sage. He is so wise. His experiences all lead him towards wisdom. I was sad that there wasn't time for question and answer at the end, because I really wanted to ask him if he had ever struggled with that, down that path, because what comes from listening to Andre de Shields talk is this sense of certainty about who he is and his purpose on this planet. It's so extraordinary to be in the presence of somebody like that. And I really I wrote pages and pages. I'm joking. This is all Andre de Shields right here. It's like all Andre. Yeah, that as well. All Andre de Shields. Just trying to soak in the wisdom of this extraordinary creature of our time who is such a leader. And of course he is leading the way in Catch the Jellicle Ball at the moment, starring in Catch the Jellicle Ball. But I just wanted to stay open-minded and be curious about that experience. And it was incredibly rewarding. I did make a post about it over the weekend, so check out yesterday's post to learn a bit more about being in the presence of Andre de Shields. On Saturday, so the reason I'm part of Tribeca Festival is because I'm the lead in a short film called Daddy's Little Meatball, and Daddy's Little Meatball was one of 87 short films that was selected to be part of the festival. Out of 5,000 entries, 5,000 short film entries, 87 were chosen to be part of the programming. So it's an extraordinary achievement for the filmmaker, and I'm really proud to be a part of it. And so there was a couple of screenings over the weekend. The Friday night screening I did not get into. Old Benjamin was be like, that's annoying. And weekend open-minded Benjamin was like, what else can I go and see? So I went and saw Stop That Train, which is really silly. I really enjoyed it. Then what else happened over the weekend? Oh, I met one of my favorite TikTok creators, Carrie Faye. I don't know if you've encountered Carrie, but she is an actor who is sharing her journey. And the super interesting thing, good morning. This is the morning report from the Working Actor NYC. Right here in New York, it is 8:05 a.m. And so on one of the screenings of Daddy's Little Meatball, I got to meet Carrie Faye. I was on my way on the L train, on the subway, going into Union Square to the AMC in Union Square where the screenings were being held. And on the subway, I'm looking at this woman, I'm like, that's Carrie Faye. And so I just went up and introduced myself, and she was going to the same program, and I was just it was so nice to meet her. Of course, somebody that you see on TikTok, and all of a sudden you're talking with them in real life, and I got so much out of that, but it was just I was so interested to learn more about her journey and what because she didn't start acting until she was 31. She already had careers and successful businesses, and so I was super interested to learn what it was that took her down the path toward acting, and it was something that she had always been attracted to, but she actually took an incredibly scientific approach to making the decision to change careers because that's the way her brain works. So she really mapped it out, and everything was pointing towards a career in acting, and it's working out for her. But it was just one of those like chance things, and I was like, see, this is what staying open-minded and staying curious does for you. All of a sudden, an opportunity is in front of you, and instead of trying to network it or schedule it or anything, I just wanted to be open-minded and open to it. So the other cool thing about the weekend was that Harry was seeing this program of short films that Daddy's Little Meatball was a part of with her friend Tyler, and I got to catch up with them both after the screening, and to find out what it was that they thought of the program. They were very complimentary, of course, about the film that I was in, which was very generous of them, and uh, and thank you, Sesathu. I appreciate you being here. Uh, but the interesting thing was is that this program of short films, I think there were 7 short films in all in this program. And the interesting thing to me was that there were some films that I responded to more than others, and I tended to gravitate towards the films that were more narrative in structure as opposed to portraits of characters. And Tyler had the complete opposite take. It was I preferred one film and Tyler preferred another, and neither of us was wrong. That's art. Art is subjective. And so it was cool to me to be able to just have a conversation where I could ask myself, so what is Tyler seeing that I'm not? And I we had a great conversation about it. I was super into it. So while I was at the screening on Saturday, I was introduced to a filmmaker called Rob, and I got sort of briefly chatting with him. And somebody said, "Oh, have you seen Rob's film In Memoriam?" And I was like, "No, I haven't." So Rob was like, "Oh, we got one more screening tomorrow at 5:30. Come if you can." And so I went. I bought myself a ticket, and I went to see Rob Burnett's film In Memoriam. I did a little homework before I went. Turns out Rob was a producer on the Dave Letterman's show for 29 years, and has produced and created and been involved with other Hollywood films and Hollywood TV shows. And this is a guy I just met as we're walking out of a movie theater in Union Square. And I didn't know who he was. I just thought I was meeting another filmmaker, and I stayed curious, and turns out he's this big somebody in Hollywood. And you don't know who you're talking to. I just wanted to be open and generous with somebody who was, we were in the same festival, for crying out loud. He had just watched my work in Daddy's Little Meatball, and so I wanted to return the respect and go and see his film. Turns out that film is really good. In Memoriam, fantastic film, dark comedy about an actor who is dying and wants to be remembered in the in memoriam section of the Oscars. And so he sort of starts this campaign to be remembered in the in memoriam segment of the Oscar ceremony that year. Dark comedy featuring Mark Maron as the central actor. Sharon Stone is in it, Paul Rudd is in it, Sarah Silverman is in it, Nikki Glazer is in it, and it's some really terrific performances, particularly by the young woman playing his daughter. Talia Ryder is her name, and Judy Greer, who is, I'm gonna imprint that name on my memory because I have seen Judy Greer in other projects and really, really enjoyed her work. Uh, and she's fantastic in this as well as one of Mark Maron's ex-wives. A really, really enjoyable film that I'm glad I got to see, and and again, this is all this is all just part of staying curious and open-minded, and this is the path it took me down. I ended up meeting some terrific people, people that I who I knew previously and some that I didn't know, but I learned something from each person in a different way. I it's there's a certain luxury to it of being curious and open-minded and allowing yourself to be in a space where you can discover rather than trying to achieve that thing and going for a goal, entering a situation not having a goal necessarily, but just staying open-minded and curious about what this experience might give me. And I think that's what my big takeaway from Tribeca has been. You know, I've been talking a lot recently about taking radical ownership of your creative life. And I just saw another clip of John Lithgow basically talking about the same thing about finding other ways to live a creative life that have nothing to do with acting or getting paid. Find out what it is that stimulates your creativity and invest in that. Um, so this is what I've been talking about, taking radical ownership of your creative life. Build the thing, create your own work. And this whole experience with Tribeca has taught me, don't be so convinced that you know where the opportunity is going to come from, because staying curious and not knowing is what lets opportunity recognize you. That's what I have to share with you today. I will be right back here tomorrow. Remember, wherever you are in your acting career, you got this. Keep going, and I'll see you tomorrow. All right, friends, thanks for being here. I'll be right back here at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. I